Have you ever pondered the fascinating journey that maps have made through history? How have they evolved from simple drawings on cave walls to the sophisticated digital maps we use today? But in the midst of this evolution, there exists a curious oddity: the Pinkerton Map of 1818. This map presents a version of Antarctica that's strikingly different from the ice-covered wilderness we know. So let's navigate through the rich history of cartography and unravel the mystery of the Pinkerton Map. Let's begin our journey with a look at the dawn of cartography, the study and practice of making maps. You see, our ancestors from as far back as the Upper Paleolithic era were the first to feel the urge to document their surroundings. The earliest examples of maps date back around 14,000 years as cave paintings. These cave paintings, found in various locations around the world, such as the Lascaux Caves in France or the Adora Caves in Italy, didn't depict vast landscapes or complex geographical elements. Instead, they focused on local areas, often depicting hunting grounds or animal migration patterns. Moving forward to around 2300 BC, we come across the ancient city of Nippur, located in modern-day Iraq. Here, a town plan engraved on a clay tablet stands as one of the oldest known maps, providing a more detailed and organized representation of human settlements. This was an epochal shift, as it showed that humans had started understanding their spatial relation to the surroundings, a fundamental concept in map-making. Then came the maps of ancient Egypt, primarily used for tax collection purposes, which showed the course of the Nile and the locations of different estates. There were also the early cave drawings in China, including the ancient star maps etched onto the ceilings of the Dunhuang caves, indicating an understanding of celestial navigation. The Greeks, renowned for their mathematical prowess, revolutionized map-making. The works of Anaximander, Herodotus, and particularly Eratosthenes set the stage for the methodical science of map-making. These maps were limited in their geographical scope, mostly documenting the Mediterranean and Near East regions. However, these initial strides in cartography were more than just lines on clay, parchment, or stone. They were indicative of humanity's innate desire to understand, navigate, and make sense of the world around us. And this, my friends, was just the beginning. As we arrive at my favorite part now, we're going to delve into the Pinkerton World Map, a unique artifact from the 19th century cartographic world. Named after its creator, Scottish cartographer John Pinkerton, the map presents a view of the world that both embodied the understanding of its time and hinted at the mysteries still unsolved. Created in the early 1800s, the Pinkerton Map offers a remarkably detailed depiction of the continents, particularly given the technology of the era. It reflects an era of burgeoning imperialism and exploration, with territories often drawn along colonial lines. The major continents of Europe, Asia, Africa, and the Americas are laid out with striking detail, but our focus here is particularly on the depiction of the less explored and most mysterious continent, Antarctica. Pinkerton's map is interesting because it leaves Antarctica largely a mystery, a stark contrast to the detailed portrayals of the other continents. Antarctica is partially depicted, suggesting the cartographer's awareness of a southern landmass, yet its true extent and shape remain ambiguous. This limited representation reflects the prevailing knowledge about Antarctica at the time. It was a place shrouded in mystery, with its icy interior largely unexplored. The incomplete depiction of Antarctica can be attributed to the fact that the Pinkerton map predates the first confirmed sighting of the Antarctic mainland by the Russian expedition, led by Fabian Gottlieb von Bellingshausen and Mikhail Lazarev in 1820. It's interesting to note that the map's portrayal of Antarctica is largely conjectural, pieced together from the accounts of whalers and explorers who had ventured into the frigid Southern Ocean and had reported sightings of icebergs and land. This incomplete depiction of the Antarctic continues to fuel various conspiracy theories and speculative fiction about lost civilizations and hidden treasures. The Pinkerton map stands as a tantalizing testament to the time when the world still had blank spots, spaces left for the unknown and the imagined, spaces that ignited human curiosity and the spirit of exploration. Now let's shift our focus on the fascinating mystery of Antarctica as it pertains to cartography and history. The Pinkerton map, with its conspicuously incomplete portrayal of Antarctica, only deepens the allure surrounding this icy continent. But why has Antarctica become the focal point of so many mysteries and theories? Well, first, let's establish some facts about this southernmost continent. It's the coldest, windiest, and most isolated place on Earth. Covered by ice that averages more than a mile thick, Antarctica remained unknown and unseen by humans until the early 19th century. Even today, it's largely uninhabited, save for scientists residing in research stations. This extreme remoteness and inaccessibility, coupled with its late discovery, has fueled speculation and mystery for centuries. Over the years, Antarctica has been subject to numerous theories and conjectures. Some have hypothesized that it could be the location of the lost city of Atlantis, the mythical civilization described by Plato. Others propose that the continent might be home to secret military bases or even alien outposts. Theories have also emerged, suggesting the presence of vast networks of warm rivers and lakes beneath the icy surface capable of supporting life. While much of this is speculative and unproven, it does highlight our enduring fascination with this largely unknown territory. From a cartographic perspective, Antarctica is also interesting due to the numerous anomalies and discrepancies that have appeared in maps over the centuries. For instance, the Piri Reis map, created by a Turkish admiral in the 16th century, allegedly shows Antarctica without its ice, a detail that continues to baffle researchers given the map's age. Moreover, even after Antarctica's official discovery, it was often inaccurately depicted or entirely omitted from many maps, further adding to its mystique. As we continue to explore and understand this unique continent, we unravel more of its secrets. Yet despite our advances in technology and exploration, Antarctica retains an aura of mystery, captured so well in the incomplete rendering on the Pinkerton Map. It serves as a reminder of the vast frontiers yet to be fully explored and understood on our own planet. Moving on, we enter the era of a man named Claudius Ptolemy, an astronomer, mathematician, and above all, a geographer who lived in the Roman Empire in the 2nd century AD. Ptolemy's contributions to cartography were pivotal in the development of the discipline, shaping it into the science we know today. In his revolutionary work, Geographia, Ptolemy compiled and consolidated the geographical knowledge of the Roman Empire. But he did much more than just provide a list of places and their locations. Ptolemy introduced the use of longitudes and latitudes in the form of a gridded network. This system was a significant development in map-making, allowing for a standardized way to express location and navigate across the globe. However, it wasn't just about the mathematical precision. Ptolemy also introduced the idea of projecting the spherical Earth onto a two-dimensional surface, which we know is a fundamental challenge in map-making. His most famous projection, known as the Ptolemaic projection, distorted size to maintain accurate shapes, a concept widely used in modern cartography. Ptolemy's work was remarkable for its time, but it was not without errors. For instance, he greatly underestimated the Earth's circumference, leading to a smaller, more condensed representation of the known world. Despite these inaccuracies, Ptolemy's influence on the science of cartography cannot be overstated. He paved the way for the explorers of the Middle Ages, who used his system of latitude and longitude to navigate the world's oceans. His works, rediscovered and translated into Latin around the 15th century, became a basis for Renaissance mapmakers and explorers pushing the boundaries of the known world. Now let us dive into the Age of Exploration, a period ranging from the 15th to the 17th century that was marked by extensive overseas exploration from European powers. This era of curiosity and daring gave rise to the intricate science of modern cartography and saw unprecedented advances in mapmaking. In this era, the discovery of new lands and sea routes necessitated the creation of accurate maps. Cartographers began to adopt a system of projection influenced by Ptolemy that allowed them to draw the Earth's round surface on a flat piece of paper. They employed advanced techniques and principles to represent the Earth's features realistically, showing coastlines, bodies of water, and significant landmarks. One notable figure during this period was Gerardus Mercator, a Flemish cartographer whose 1569 world map introduced a cylindrical projection known as the Mercator projection. His projection preserved the angles and shapes of land masses, a critical feature for navigation, but resulted in significant distortion of size as you move away from the equator. Meanwhile, the Portuguese cartographer Pedro Reinel created the oldest known signed Portuguese nautical chart around 1504. His works, alongside other cartographers from the Lisbon School of Cartography, were instrumental in the development of nautical charts with their focus on practical use for navigation. However, the age of exploration wasn't just about European cartographers. Globally, various cultures were developing their own techniques for mapping. For instance, the indigenous people of the Marshall Islands in the Pacific Ocean used stick charts, which employed shells and sticks to represent waves and islands. The maps from this period reflected not just geographical knowledge, but also the political and cultural context of their time. They often included fantastical beasts and mythical lands, reflecting the sense of wonder and mystery that was characteristic of the age of exploration. It was an age of intrigue, discovery, and the quest to conquer the unknown. Finally, at last, we arrive at our present day, the era of digital cartography and satellite imaging. But don't let modernity fool you. Today's techniques carry on the rich tradition of the past, albeit in vastly more complex and sophisticated ways. However, even with all the technology at our disposal, the challenge of capturing our planet's intricate details remains, offering a captivating blend of art, science, and technology. In the modern era, we've graduated from parchment and ink to GPS and satellite imagery. But despite this shift in medium, the essence of cartography, understanding and representing our world, remains unchanged. The advent of satellite technology has allowed us to map the entire globe with an unprecedented level of detail and accuracy. From the comfort of our homes, we can explore remote corners of the Earth, observe changing weather patterns, and even monitor the movements of wildlife. Google Earth, for instance, is an incredible example of modern cartography. It compiles satellite imagery and aerial photography to produce a 3D representation of the Earth's surface, accessible to anyone with an internet connection. It has democratized the world of maps, allowing anyone to become an armchair explorer. But it's not just about exploration. Modern cartography plays a critical role in urban planning, disaster response, climate studies, and much more. Geographic Information Systems, or GIS, integrate spatial data with other types of data to help us understand patterns and relationships in the world around us. From tracking the spread of diseases to optimizing public transport routes, GIS has become an essential tool in diverse fields. And yet, in all this progress, maps still carry an element of subjectivity. Mercator projections, commonly used in online maps, can distort sizes of countries near the poles, leading to misconceptions. No map can perfectly represent the Earth's spherical surface on a flat plane without some form of distortion. So even today, the art of map-making involves trade-offs and choices, echoing the challenges faced by ancient cartographers. In conclusion, whether we're peering down from satellites or analyzing data on our computers, we continue the timeless pursuit of understanding our place in the world. From early star charts to Pinkerton's world map, to the hyper-detailed maps of today, we've made immense strides. And yet, as the mysteries of Antarctica remind us, there are always new frontiers waiting to be charted. And as always, thanks for watching.